Welcome everybody to our Entrepreneurship Workshop. My name is Megan Medlin. I am the founder of H.I.R.E, which is the hub for integration, reentry, and employment. We put on community events. We also offer direct service to those who are justice involved or justice impacted. We help find jobs, get linked up with resources. We have all sorts of workshops coming up. And today is one of our workforce ready workshops, which we're going to talk about entrepreneurship. We have some other ones coming up at the end of the month. We have Making Budgets Work on February 28th. And then early next month, we have Preparing for College on March 6th. Everything is on our website. So if you guys look at our upcoming events, you can check those out there. And then we also have some other events coming up. We have our time volunteer program for people to help get involved, get back to the community, help build your resume. And so we have an event coming up this Saturday doing habitat restoration in Huntington Beach. So if you guys are interested, please let us know. And other than that, those will happen on a monthly basis. So definitely check our website. We will obviously record this meeting and send it out to you guys as well. It'll get posted on our website. But yeah, so with that, today I'm super excited to introduce our good friend Tim over from Wells Fargo, who's gonna be talking to us about entrepreneurship, starting a business, and kind of everything that we need to know for that. So with that, Tim, I'll turn it over to you and let you introduce yourself, and then we'll get going.
Hi, Megan, and hi, everyone else. Thank you for having me. Love to help our local communities. I'm with the small business banking group in part of Wells Fargo. We deal with clients that do anything that want to grow the business, essentially, right? From start to finish. So I'm happy that Megan, connected with me to help you guys out. I'm here to use my resources. From then, I guess like a high level, right? We're trying to see how you want to start a business. So I would say that to start a business, you would kind of identify we are do a products or service. So there are two, right? Either you want to sell a physical item or a service, be like a dog groomer is a service, a legal attorney, those are service, right? You got to identify what type of business you want to do first. Then you come up with a business plan. You definitely have to have a business plan. Business plan will kind of like rule out your core value. Why does this business speak to you? What is there growth in there? In that business plan, you create a market research. Depending on where you want to target your audience, who is your customer, your potential customer, how you going to target them. So we got to look at, so if it's like a product service, say I'm using Starbucks, for example, right? If you open another coffee shop, you kind of want to see what location you want to go and then where's the traffic are at, right? And easy to kind of guesstimate the traffic. It's kind of sit at that corner in your car, kind of count how many cars pass by, how many people go in and out of that kind of business establishment. And that's kind of, you kind of get your baseline for your market and traffic foot flow. For service, you kind of see as who, you can Google this, so who within the surrounding area that does the same business as you, and what do they offer, and how you can be differentiate them than them, because you don't want to come in and compete and then now you're just kind of like on selling on price, right? Who's selling the lowest price, and that's not what you want to target. So but that being said, establish what business matter to you, and then you gotta speak down to the core value, right? What's your passion? Apple start out in the, Steve Jobs started in the garage, and fun facts, right? Steve Jobs, first loan is through SBA. SBA is a Small Business Administration. That's a loan set up by Eisenhower, President Eisenhower back in '53, to help local small business like us. We all have to start from somewhere, right? We all born the same way. We're born, we crawl, we walk, we run, right? That's the nature of it. It doesn't matter where you are, where you came from. It all started that way. It's the passion that will keep the business alive. I see a lot of businesses that grow huge, and then a lot of business that grow and then fail, right? And that's because of lack of passion, lack of sentimental value. You got to think of your business, your baby. Like Megan right here. She's doing this, because of her heart, right? Her passion. She has so much passion about. And when and Megan and I, we met, and I like, I want to help. And at the end of the day, what we do can impact the community, make a change, for the better and for good. And this is kind of thing that I see, and I want to help be a part of it. And going back to like when you want to do business, start, there's tons and tons of resources out there. After this meeting, I don't know, Megan, you have like email link, the email of all the attendees. I can create a recap email with all the links of the resources, or send to you, and then you can distribute to all the audiences. Um, because like what in honestly, United States of America is the country of opportunity, and take it as it is, because it is an opportunity. From legal standpoint, from business standpoint, you don't need to hire attorney. It doesn't cost much to start a business. You can start as a sole prop, starting out with like $30, $35 business license through the city, a fictitious business name statement, and you can go ahead and start your business already. Doesn't cost much. All it takes is the passion, the drive, that idea, right? There's no idea is a bad idea. You think Starbucks dominate the coffee, but look at it now. You got Phil's, you got Seven Leaves, you got a whole bunch of new stuff, coffee out there, like Blue Bottle. They can start tapping into that market. So never think that your business is not a good business, that your idea is not a good idea. It's who you are that makes the business drive. Like your kid. You have the power to shape and mold your kid like a clay, right, into this. You want to be a very artistic structure and piece of art or not. It's how much dedication time you put into your business. Um, I'm kind of like go off of my train of my thought, but I'm trying to see what question anyone have, like, because for me to help, or us to help. Um, so you want to open this up, Megan, so we can answer some Q&As or something?
Yeah, we can if anyone has any questions. I'm trying to think on my end, what would be a good question too. So I think a common question, I'll ask one. For somebody who is like a small business owner, right, or trying to get started or something, obviously we know, I know you shared it's not always expensive to start up a business, but sometimes depending what you're doing, you need capital, right, for that. What are some like, do you know or have resources of some like avenues or opportunities or things like that that people could pursue to help get some of that capital for their business?
Definitely, yeah. So there's a lot of resources out there that you can use, and all these are like they can leverage off of. There's a website called there's a SBA website that you can tackle on all the resources. Actually, on SBA.gov website, there's a list of all these events, local events that all these clients, customers can come in and join and learn what they have to offer. And these are now these are like out there for you to benefits. On top of that, if you worry about legal, so your local courthouse, there's something called self-help. They can go in there. You don't need to hire an attorney. They will all the court, clerk. They will there to walk you through every step of the way. If you have any questions, the county clerk recorder, that's where you file your fictitious business statement. Resources like tons and tons. Like I said, or send out that recap and with all the resources. As far as capital wise, it's let's just say that for a product, for example, and if you have significant capital and you think this product is a game changing, something that could be impactful, and it's never that product never exists, and you have the time and resources and the capital, I would recommend is file for a patent, number one. Because if you're gonna when you have a product that you're not patent and you launch a market, It's very easy for someone, bigger company, see it, copy it, and just take you out of business real fast, real quick. So number one, protect yourself. Um, create a patent. Usually it takes 2 years for the patent from file to completion. As long as you file it, you can launch your product right away because you have the designation of patent pending, and that protects you for whatever, trademark infringement. If someone tried to get into your patent, you can say, hey, you can serve them a cease and desist because there's a patent pending, and they usually have a number from the U.S. Patent Post Office. That's number one I would do. Logo, trademark, definitely trademark your logo, and also look up on the USPTO website. That's a US patent trademark website. Do you want to create logo that someone else has already, and they could serve you a cease and desist too, and that kind of waste you a lot of time because, like I said, that you print all these marketing material, these business card with these logo that you created, and it just how happened someone else has a similar logo, and then now you all the printing, all the marketing material, all the funding you put in, you have to throw it away. So due diligence is number one key. Market research. And from there, once you have the baseline, just like building a house, a structure, you have a strong foundation before you can build everything on top, right? And the part of the building is like when you build a foundation, it won't look like a house, it won't look like a building, it doesn't look nice, but you need that before the rest fall into place. And that go back to that when I say business plan. You gotta have a business plan, because that kind of like a roadmap for you to navigate. And if you think, oh, I know how my business gonna run, but without putting in writing, it's very different. Because when you put in writing and then you realize you look back and you're like, oh, you know what? I can add more to this. I can change this. My projection can change, based on this, and I can Excel, right? You can embrace Excel on your cost, cost of goods sold minus overhead, minus like probability, and also minus margin of error too. Because like no one, like example, like COVID, no one expect COVID to happen, but people don't, count, put that into that fundamental part of the business. But now when COVID, now let's just say your restaurant, now you don't have people to come in because they don't let you dine in or take out. Do you have that backup measure for that kind of like, contingency plan? So that's all part of the business plan you got to create and kind of like give you that clear vision of where you need to go and how you're gonna spearhead your business. So yeah.
Actually, following up on that, sorry, I'll still just showing some questions. But so for those, because starting a business plan, I know can seem really daunting for people. If you're like start a business plan, like people don't know where to start. Do you know of any like resources or sites or anything or programs that may help somebody like put that together? Because I know when I've put mine together, like they're not as daunting as they seem, but I think starting out, it's still like, what do I do? What do I put in there? Do you know of anything for that?
Great questions. There's a lot. Like I said, the SCORE is one, SBA is two. The best one I recommend is your local library. People don't think about this, but your library is the place that you can go in. You get free. You can ask a librarian; they will take you to it. There's a website called OCPL, based on Orange County Public Library. Google that, and you can. They have templates you can download, and you can kind of fill in where it is, and it kind of like it give you bullet points like your mission statement, your business plan, your marketing, your sales, your projection, all of those. Another good resource is Wells Fargo website. Wells Fargo has a business resource section under the business tab that you can go in, and all these are free resources. It doesn't cost you a penny. All it takes is time and your ability to search for it and learn and read it. So yeah, definitely, and definitely don't forget Google. Google, the easiest way you can just type in business plan template, and there's millions and tons of them. You can pick which one you want, and all it is just kind of like bullet points, and you kind of from that you kind of brainstorm out and spread out like wildfire what you want to do and spread out and how detailed you want your business plan to be or how vague you want to be. But I recommend the more detailed the better, right? If you have a product that's served like a niche market, so you gotta see who are your potential the customer, right? If you serve such a small niche, then that had to be adjusted for the price, right? Kind of like thing, right? For example, I'm not purse person, but like Coach and let's say LV, right?
Mhm.
They both sell handbags. The handbags are made from the same cow, right? The same, yeah, but the price is a difference, right? But at the end of the day, the profit margin are the same. You can either sell a lot and make 10% profit, or you can sell little and still make 10% profits, right? It's that number of, playing with the numbers kind of thing, right? You do work more or work less. When you work less, then you have to have something to differentiate, make your product more valuable. People willing to spend the extra few dollars, right? For example, like a coffee example, a tall coffee you can get for $3, right? But $3 doesn't mean much, right? Um, but Starbucks, they will try to push you to, or McDonald's, for example. Remember back then they have that supersize me, right? For extra 35 cents, you can, supersize it. But honestly, 35 cents for 4 or 5 ounces, 4 or 5 ounces of water doesn't mean anything to McDonald's. But that 35 cents of profit that they have that they didn't have before. So that's the value of the proposition for them. So, yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? It looks like somebody else had one or no?
I was just wondering at what point in a new business's like business plan can they start looking for investors? Like at what point is too early or too late?
Depend on the size of the business. So you gotta have something that valuable that you can attract investor. Depend how big, right? I have customer that clients that go to Series A, Series B, and C. That's when they go to IPO. You can also go through VC, basically venture capital, or angel investor, right? Sometimes could be your parents. If you, it all depends on the size of the business. It's hard to say, but then like I said, let's turn the table around. Let's just say you have all this cash and you don't know what to do with it. So you're now your investor. I come to you. I'm like, hey, I got this business. Let's just say you see Shark Tank, for example. That Shark Tank is the exact perfect example of investor, right? Because you go in there, you do your sales pitch, and then you kind of see. So now I come to you like, hey, this is what I sell, and this is my numbers. This is my profits. And I want to take my business to the next level, and I want to grow to this level, and to get there, I need this. Yeah, and to get there, I need this, and I can't get it from the bank because the bank, like Wells Fargo wise, we won't lend to you unless you have at least 2 years of business profitable. But then as a new business, you're not gonna show profit because the money comes in, you're gonna burn it off, right? The minute you have revenue comes in, you're gonna burn it up because you can grow so fast. So when you file a tax, you're gonna show like you file loss. But as a bank, we're like, well, we're a cash flow lender. We're not gonna lend you money knowing that you're gonna burn it off. When you burn it off, you don't have the money to pay back the debt, right? So bank always look at risk. Risk is the number one criteria that they want to mitigate risk. But that's where the difference between banks and venture capital or angel investor or any investor you're looking for, right? The trade-off is a bank interest rate is like less than venture capital or investor. Sometimes actually most investor they want a percentage of your company. Right? So let's just say that you have a company you can grow 10 times, 100 times. At the same time, you don't want to lose any of your percentage of ownership. Then how are you gonna figure out where you're gonna give and take? You are willing to pay 20% interest rate for this X amount you're gonna get, or you're gonna willing to take 10% plus another 10% of your stake. So now you're not 100% ownership anymore. You're 9% owner. Now think about this: if you If you have more investor and then your ownership become less than 50%, now you lost your voice of running the company because you have to have 51% ownership to make any decision. So keep that in mind too, and then kind of like every business is different, every business model is always different, but it's all come down to what value, your value proposition and your projection, your growth projection. Okay? So that's maybe I don't know if I answer your question on that investing. Another thing you can do is like a lot of crowdfunding is another one that you see, right? Out there. You can do that too. Is another part of investing that you don't have to put your share out. Um, you kind of crowdsource, right? I forgot what's that one. I forgot the one very popular website that you can launch a prototype products on there, and you sell a future value of that product. So you try to raise $100,000 to sell an item that you don't have the money to bring it to market. So you sell on a future value. So you sell on an idea so people will pay you, and then they will get the item after 6 months later, right? Because by that time you will have collected the fund to create the product itself. So that's something you can do, crowdfunding. So there's many ways, but it's all come down to what business you have, and how lucrative it is, and whatever it's a service and a products, definitely you can look at that. Service is a lot harder to get funding, unless you have like a strong backer. Even strong backer, there's always a risk, because again, everyone's worried about what if, because there's a lot of company out there that go under, so they kind of want to see, okay, if they go under, they can want to have some stake, some ownership in your company. They can sell that stock to get recoup what the money they lost. That's why. With the bank, we don't take any ownership of your company because we can't. And then even if we do, we won't, because that's just bad PR for the bank. We're not in the business to take your business away. We're not in the business to take your house away. Even if we put lien on your house, but we're not in the business to sell your house. Because you think about it, it's cost bank a lot more resources, money, just to pull you out of the house, kick you out of the house, legal work, and then try to resell that house, rather than they just get money from the interest rate that they earn, and they just keep on lending. And how banks work is that they work off of a rule of 10, right? Say you put $100,000 bank, we keep on 10,000, we lend out 90,000 out, right? And so that's how bank makes money. Just simple, easy. No effort needed compared to taking the house. But people think that bank isn't there to take the house or we will put a lien. No, the lien is there just for great safekeeping. That so that way that on the back of your head, you still have to do your due diligence, not just not pay the loan and just walk away kind of thing. Does that answer your questions?
It does. Thank you.
I have a question too.
Yeah.
I do have to go, unfortunately, but I'll watch the recording back. I guess like what are like the requirements to open up like a business account with, or like for any bank? And I know you were mentioning like, I think for loans you needed like 2 years or something like that.
Yep. So there's different type of business. So the sole proprietor business, which is you own the company, and then you put your name personally, and you use your social as a taxpayer. So that's a sole prop, right? Sole mean one. There's corporation, right? So there's like incorporation for INC. There's two types: S corp and C corp. S corp is like for the company like 250,000 below. Use a pass through tax, so you don't pay corporate tax, you pay personal tax. C corp is for bigger company, like Apple, for example, but that's kind of too big. But what that C corp is for, like double taxation. So the corporation pay tax and you personal pay tax as an owner. And then there's also LLC, which is a limited liability company. That's limit liabilities. LLC is similar to like an S corp company in a way. Now in California, be mindful that people don't know this, and they got into open LLC because it's good that you own have an LLC or S corp if you own a home, because your home is under your personal home, in your personal name. Let's just say the business took a downfall, or you have a risk, and say you have a restaurant, someone walk in, they slip and they fall and they get hurt, they sue your business, and your business is under sole proprietor. So, and you don't have the money, or if your insurance max GL or general liability insurance max at 1 million, and if the lawsuit over that, your insurance will only pay up to $1 million. Anything over that, you have to pay out your own pocket. And if you don't have your money in your own pocket, they'll go after your house, right? That's people don't like lawyers, but that's what lawyers do. So that's why you put your business into a limited liability company. What that means is that if you start an LLC with $1,000, you grow to $10,000. The most you can lose is how much you put in. So that $10,000 plus with your $1,000, right? The most, that's limit your liable, right? Same thing with corporation. So they cannot go after your personal asset. Now, people don't know that in California, if you do an LLC or S corp, you have to pay mandatory $800 tax, California franchise tax each year, regardless you make money or not. Even you don't make a penny, you lose all money, you still have to pay $800 franchise tax. So people don't notice that when they start open LLC, and 3 months later or a year later, they realize why I had to pay $800. Welcome to California. Another one, business structure is a partnership. You can do a general partnership. So say Megan and I, we have an idea, we want to create a taco stand. I put in 1,000, Megan put in 1,000. We are partners. We are 50-50 partner. We are general partnership. So what we lose is what we put in. So if I put in 1,000, Megan put in 1,000. If the business say someone eat our food, they get sick, they sue us, we close a business. I'm out of 1,000, Megan out of 1,000. They cannot take anything off our person's asset. Yeah, and then all these, like a lot of people, you think that it'll cost you money to create these LLC or S corp. You actually can do it yourself. You don't need these lawyer to draft all of these LLC forms. Again, the resources that I'll send a link later for making them pass out for everyone. All these you can actually pull out the templates and just change the name to your company name, and you file with California Secretary of State. I think you pay like $75 for the copy, and then I think like 100 or 200, I forgot. You pay that directly to the California Secretary of State in Sacramento, and within a few weeks, maybe months, I don't know how fast they do it, they'll mail you back a LLC article of incorporation for corporation, or article of organization for LLC. LLC, you are managing member. You're not the owner of it. You are a managing member. And a corporation, you are a shareholder. So you don't own it. Just like like Apple or all these public company, you buy their stock, right? You are you buy one share, you are one part of the owner, right, of that. So that's kind of, you gotta structure how you want, depending on the risk of the business that you see, right? If you're into construction business, or you into like arborists, like people who are cutting down trees, you have the risk higher, right? There's high that risk the tree can fall down, destroy someone's roof. So you got want to put that into a corporation to protect your personal asset. So every business is different. So hope that helps.
Yes, thank you.
I need to go. Anyone else have any questions or anything? No. I think like one last one I had Tim, was so obviously we work with individuals, you know, who have backgrounds and that kind of stuff. Are there any limitations, restrictions, et cetera, that like you're aware of for starting your own business if you do have a background, whether it be for filing or financing or anything like that?
With the bank, so, and I say this for Wells Fargo wise, Wells Fargo, you can borrow up to, on the retail side, up to $100,000 unsecured. But like for business that was 2 years or more,
Mhm.
business less than 2 years, you can borrow up to 50,000 unsecured. So they're not holding any collateral. And let's just say you want to go bigger than that, under SBA guideline, the Small Business Administration, you do have a restriction. You cannot have any felony. Even if it's like a DUI, that because again, you got to think of risk mitigation. The SBA administration is, Small Business Administration set out by Eisenhower. It's government-backed funding. So the government, they would want to be tied to it. Hey, we help this person who was, has a felony. We're helping this felony with the business and they grow and all that. It's just bad PR kind of thing. That's only one restriction that the SBA have. As for banking wise, we don't have restriction on it. We don't check the background for anything 100,000 or less. Anything like probably 100, even 200,000, we don't check background. Unless you do some like looking at $1 million loan, then we do check background. And we dig deep because it is a bigger risk, right? It's a larger loan. So with that, they want to make sure that the bank get the money back, that we borrow, we lend out. Same thing, you would do the same. If I come to you, I borrow for $1 million, you're probably like, oh, who this guy, right? I want to know everything about him, right? We ask a lot of paperwork for that type of lending. But we do all kind, but just families why, and again, that's not the end of the world. So I'll tell you this. I have a customer who had a DUI, multiple DUI, because of DUI is a felony. We can still fund him. It's just that he just gotta be creative with his lawyer and get that felony expunged. And we just need a paper from the court saying that, hey, that is expunged. Once that paper is there, say it's expunged, then, it's not like the end of the world that you have money that you're gonna do it. But yeah, because it is, we are equal opportunity, lender. We have that Fair Credit Act, right? All these laws and regulations set out to protect the consumer, protect you, to give you the equal opportunity just like everyone else, to lend, to have the opportunity to grow and to be successful. And we want you to be successful, right? And we will, help you get to where you need. So those resources there to help you as well. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else? Any other questions? All right.
So Megan, in your experience, like what challenges you see that that maybe we can help, like obstacle, most questions people about asking now.
Yeah, again, we don't get too many in this area, which is why we were excited to kind of host it for people that are out there. But I think some of the questions we mainly get are like people like knowing how to start, where to start, right? Like, how do I start a business? And then obviously making it legitimate. So if people have, kind of a side hustle or something like that, right? Like, how do I make it an actual legitimate business? And then the funding question that I asked in the beginning, right? So if they did need capital, like where would they get capital and kind of start that up? Because some people have great ideas. They just don't know how do I get this started, right? I don't have anything behind it. So I think those are probably the most common. And then, the background question too, if that's going to hinder anything. So.
And if I could add like one of the tips that I could see that and I could recommend is that if anyone who started business and already started business or started side hustle,
Mhm.
The money you put in, don't spend it. Put it back into the business, right? If you start a taco stand, you put $500 in, you sell taco lemonade, you make $1,000 that day, right? You spend 500, on a booth and your supply, but then you make 500. Don't go ahead and spend that on yourself. Keep that in your business and let it grow. It's I know it's tempting. Oh, I make money, I want to go sell, spend it. It's tempting. Resist that temptation. And over time you will see that growth in that business. And then when you realize you can do more with bigger money rather than spend a few $100 on something else that you don't really need, or I mean, cause you raised $500 yourself already,
Mhm.
so you can do it again,
Mhm.
and just grow from it. Honestly, an hour ago, I just talked to a customer. He came here in the 70s. He worked in a restaurant, and all he was just washing dishes. From then, he moved into cook, a chef, and then someone told him like, "Hey, you want to sell cans?" And you're like, "Why am I selling cans? Like that's like, like, yeah, that's dirty job, like recycling can." But he tried it out. That he realized in one day he recycled can, they make more than a week of bussing, washing dishes, cooking, and realized like, hey, this is because this is back in the 80s, right?
Mhm.
No one recycled back then, right? Because it was a niche and it was an opportunity for him. So he got it, he got into it, and he sees the opportunity and he has a passion, and he forgave the dirtiness or whatever the title of to recycle, right? Now he has multi-million-dollar business. He owned a 1.5-acre lot in Santa Ana. Like, we all start somewhere, but then the thing is that money he made, he put back into the business. Because he put it back in the business, he can afford to buy that property so he can grow his business. So resist the temptation of buying little things so you can grow, and you can put that into bigger things so you can business and grow even more. Now he doesn't have to do anything. He just sit back and just, enjoy life.
Is he hiring? You got to connect him with us so we can get people over
Oh, he
there.
has a lot of kids. I asked if he's adopting. He's like, no.
I was gonna say, because we have people looking for jobs if he's in
Yeah.
Tampa.
Yeah.
Connect us.
Yeah. But like one of the benefits that I work in this business banking is that see these stories, right? And you can tell that the passion, because they built this from the ground up,
Mhm.
from their own two hands. It's their baby. And then we ask them, well, you're about to retire. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna start a business? Then he thought about it. No, my name is on the business, my last name on this business. This is my legacy. I'm gonna forward this legacy to my kids, and they're gonna carry on that legacy. So this I say to most people who start out, what do you want to do, when you're not here anymore? What do you want to leave behind so people remember you? What means to you? Because Steve Jobs did something, even though we all have subjective, thoughts of, opinions of who he is, but he did something. But at the same time, he died alone, on his deathbed, right? There's also kind of give and take of how much you put in and what you do to impact the world, kind of change to better. Like, Megan, you're doing great things, helping people, with opportunity, second chance, it's not the end of the world, because there's a lot of opportunity out there. And I say this is, and I see a lot of people that are people who watch this, or maybe will watch this, and I hope they can be inspired, because opportunity is everywhere. There's this concept is called the red car concept, right? If you go down the road, you can count how many red cards you put won't count. You don't know. But if I give you $5 for each red card, you start counting,
Mhm.
right? Those red card is your opportunity. The minute you see opportunities turn to money, then you start looking for counting red cards, right? So it's puts your mindset, how you see things and where you want your future to be. Yes, we all have setback, but that's not the end of the world. Um, you know, and there's always rainbow after the storm kind of thing. So always light after the tunnel. So,
So true. Yeah. Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm like, this is great. We're super appreciative of you coming. Any final kind of thoughts or wisdom or anything? And yeah, if you can send me over the resources, we can send it out to everyone who attended and kind of registered and stuff too. So great.
last thing is like resource, use the library. This library, you have an ID. That's all you need to get a library card. They have digital stuff. You can download the library app, OCPL app, and there's a lot of digital stuff that you can download. You can what is it? Ebook, was audiobook that you can download using that app, and you can listen. If you don't have time to read, you can listen. I do that all the time. Sometimes I'm working, I put my AirPod like this, and I'll listen to book. Always make yourself better than who you were yesterday. Um, learn something new. Learn one thing a day. Also, need to like today, I learned something about this customer that I met today. And that's very impactful. And you never thought. I never thought recycling businesses make that much money.
Mhm.
And now I do. Right? The more you know. People, something you walk around, you see cans on the ground all the time, but here, he turns, one man trash and a man treasure. So definitely opportunities everywhere. You just gotta look for the red car.
Yeah, I love it. Awesome. Well, great advice. And thank you, Tim, for coming. This has been great information. Hopefully it was helpful for people who are here. And we thank you guys for coming. And like I said, just keep an eye out for the rest of our workshops and hope to see you at another one soon.